Okay, we're in chapter 30. The word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus says the Lord God, howl and cry, oh, for the day. Howl and cry. Um, Now, this was when after Jesus was resurrected. So now we're going into a period in Ezekiel that is going to take us through our day. It's going to, of course, be things that happened in his day, but this is going more into our time, the duality of the information and understanding that's going to come to us. So, verse 3. For the day is near, even the day of the Lord is near, a cloudy day, a time of reckoning for the nations. And the sword shall come upon Egypt. Now, Egypt's the world, the rest of the world that's not saved. And great terror shall be in Ethiopia when the slain shall fall in Egypt, and they shall take away her wealth, and her foundation shall be uprooted. Now, as I said, this is a picture pointing about to Egypt being the Catholic Church, the Vatican, China, and the world. There are certain keywords that show us which is which. But right now in verse 5, it's telling us who is in league with the Vatican and who is going to fall. The Ethiopians, the Putians and Puttians, I guess that is, and Libyans, and all Arabia, and Chub, and the men of the land that is in league with them shall fall with them by the sword. So everybody aligned with the Vatican will fall. All the Arab nations and the Oriental nations will fall. Thus says the Lord God, those also who help Egypt shall fall. If you're falling in line with the Catholic Church, the Vatican, and your churches even in America, and your leaders are leading you to follow the Vatican, you're going to fall. And the strength of her greatness shall be broken. From the tower of Soma shall they fall in it by the sword, says the Lord God. And they shall be desolate in the midst of the countries that are desolate, and her cities shall be in the midst of the cities that lie waste. So our cities are going to be lying waste. This must be speaking of then after when the nuclear war starts. And they shall know that I am the Lord when I have kindled a fire in the world, or in Egypt, and all her helpers are defeated. On that day shall messengers go forth from me in haste to destroy Ethiopia, from which dwells in tranquility, and there shall be confusion among them on the day of Egypt. For lo, it is coming. The day of the destruction of the world is coming. Thus says the Lord God, I will also deliver the wealth of Egypt, or the wealth of the world, into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. So this, I believe, is another evil king who comes out of he's the one that will be getting the wealth of Egypt. Even to him and to the mighty men that are with him, who are coming to destroy the land. They shall draw their swords against Egypt and fill the land with the slain. And I will make the rivers dry and deliver the land into the hand of the wicked. And I will lay the land waste and all that is therein by the hand of the strangers. I, the Lord, have spoken it. Thus says the Lord God, I will destroy the idols, and I will make an end to the images out of Memphis. Now, Memphis, of course, was a city in Egypt. And so, what right here, verse 13, he's absolutely speaking to the Vatican, the Catholic Church, where he will destroy their idols and destroy the images out of Memphis, meaning Vatican City. And there shall be no more a prince in the land of Egypt. So there will be no more princes or priests out of that church anymore. And I will make Pathros desolate, and will set fire in Zoan, and will execute judgment in No. And I will pour out my fury upon Sin, the strength of Egypt, and I will destroy the riches of No. That's interesting that word for the people of the city of the Vatican is called No. N-O, no. According to the Assyrian language, it is no. And what more could he say to the land of the Vatican but no? Uh, and I will set fire in Egypt. Sin shall be terrified, and No, or the Vatican, shall be breached, and Memphis shall fall. The whole city will fall. The young men of Mappabest shall be weak, and they shall fall by the sword, and the remnant shall go into captivity. And in Tahpanhes also the day shall be darkened, when I shall break there the scepter of Egypt, or the world in general. And the pomp of her strength shall cease from her. A cloud shall cover her. The clouds covering them in this coming time will, of course, be nuclear atomic bomb fallout clouds. And her daughters shall go into captivity. Thus will I execute judgment in Egypt, and they shall know that I am the Lord. In the 11th year, in the first month, on the 7th day of the month, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, I have broken the arm of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And lo, it shall not be bound up to be healed. Neither shall it be treated with ointment, nor shall it be bound, and shall not heal, so that he may hold the sword. This portion of Egypt, I believe this is still talking about parts of the Vatican. This is talking about the Vatican actually in the end time, not then. Not speaking of the Pharaoh of Egypt then, but it is also speaking of the Vatican Pharaoh now. Therefore, thus says the Lord God, Behold, I am against Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and I will break his strong arms, and I will cause the sword to fall from his hands. And I will scatter the Egyptians among the nations, and will disperse them throughout the countries. And I will strengthen the arms of the king of Babylon, and put my sword into his hands, and he shall cut off Pharaoh's arms, and Pharaoh shall groan before him with the groaning of a mortally wounded man. Um, and I will strengthen the arms of the king of Babylon, and the arms of Pharaoh shall fall down, and they shall know that I am the Lord, when I put my sword into the hands of the king of Babylon. And he will draw it out against the land of Egypt, and I will scatter the Egyptians among the nations. Isn't that interesting? Because when did that happen? When were the Egyptians ever scattered? Um, it was the God's people. It was the Jews that were scattered. But it says, I will scatter the Egyptians among the nations and disperse them among the countries, and they shall know that I am the Lord. So I believe that will be people who, if anyone is left out of the Vatican, and and those Egyptians, that meaning the worldly people that are left after all these wars come down, that they will just be scattered around the world. Everybody will be looking for some place to live that's safe, and some land to farm, and just start over. And different communities will spring up, different nations. So chapter 30, again, it looks back a little bit, but yet it is looking forward to what is coming. And it will make more sense when we get into chapter 31. Okay? Shalom.